Always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. Do I not destroy me enemies when I make them my friends? The man of knowledge must be able not only to love his enemies, but also to hate his friends. Never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. I choose my friends for their good looks, my acquaintances for their good characters, and my enemies for their good intellects. Whenever you are confronted with an opponent, conquer him with love. Ask you to judge me by the enemies I have made. A wise man gets more use from his enemies than a fool from his friends. We do not merely destroy our enemies, we change them. Never explain, your friends do not need it, and your enemies will not believe you anyway. Your worst enemy could be your best friend, your worst enemy. There is nothing more admirable than when two people who see eye to eye keep house as man and wife, confounding their enemies and delighting their friends. If you have enemies, good, that means you stood up for something. I like to have powerful enemies. Makes me feel important. To be successful, you need friends, and to be very successful, you need enemies. The truth may not set you free, but used carefully, it can confuse the hell out of your enemies. A doubtful friend is worse than a certain enemy. Let a man be one thing or the other, and we then know how to meet him. Your friends will believe in your potential, your enemies will make you live up to it. Love your enemies, for they tell you your faults. A man with no enemies is a man with no character. It's not about going around trying to stir up trouble. As long as you're honest, and you articulate what you believe to be true, somebody somewhere will become your enemy whether you like it or not. Those who pray for your downfall are concentrating negative thoughts towards you without taking cognizance of the slippery ground in which they are standing, which could lead to their downfall. It is a man's own mind, not his enemy or foe, that lures him to evil ways. I can be on guard against my enemies, but God deliver me from my friends. Some people are nobody's enemies, but their own, you know. He will never have true friends. Who is afraid of making enemies? There's ways you can trust an enemy, you can't always trust a friend. An enemy's never going to betray your trust. Home is anywhere that you know all your friends and all your enemies. Sometimes, I just want to paint the words, "It's my fault," across my forehead to save people the time of being pissed off at me. Friends may come and go, but enemies accumulate. When a sinister person means to be your enemy, they always start by trying to become your friend. Enemies can't break your spirit, only friends can. Mercy is weakness. Offer it to your enemies, and you might as well fall upon your own sword. A genuine enemy is more useful than a fake friend. Keep your friends close. Keep your enemies closer. It is a good man who stands up for his friends, but an honorable man who stands up for his enemies. 'Tis best to weigh the enemy more mighty than he seems. Friends never turn as enemies. If they did, they were never your friends at all.